The problem isn't dopamine, it's where you're getting it. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you 3 reasons as to why you need to monitor where your dopamine is coming from and how it affects you as a person. Starting off with my gamers out there, man. I know a lot of y'all out there, y'all like to play y'all video games and play your survival games and play whatever games that allow you to progress and feel some type of accomplishment for your time and effort that you put into those video games. But understand one thing, as a fellow gamer myself, you have to monitor where that dopamine comes from. Just because you spent 8 hours grinding that camo on Call of Duty, you spent a day or two grinding that character on 2K, getting him a 90 overall, you spent however many hours building your base on whatever survival game you playing, you got to understand all that time that you putting into playing these digital characters and earning this fake progress in the video game. It may make you feel good because you're doing a lot of work and you getting rewarded for it. But in reality, you got to understand that that reward that you're getting isn't contributing to nothing in your life. Now, I'm not saying everything you do in life got to always be towards contributing to what you're doing. I mean, it should, but it's okay to take time and play games and have fun and enjoy yourself from time to time. But the problem comes from when you do it a lot, such as every other day, every single day. If you're finding yourself in a position where you playing the game more so than you doing the work that you got to get done, that's a problem. If you're spending the majority of your time throughout the entire week playing the video game or trying to earn fake progress, doing whatever it is you want to do, whether it's camo grinding, whether it's playing that survival game and building your base, whether that's making your 2K character and getting a 99 overall. If you're spending the majority of your week doing all that and you not sitting here putting towards your goals, not putting time towards yourself, investing in yourself, doing the things you got to be doing, whether it's schoolwork or going to work or making that money, that's a problem, bro. And as a grown man or as a grown woman, as an adult in general, you got to tighten up. That dopamine rush you get when you do these things on these video games and all that grinding you doing, you got to understand, you got to really monitor how often you're doing it. Everything you do in life should be in moderation, including the time you spend chilling and playing those games. You also got to be conscious enough to sit there and realize, hey man, I done spent a whole day, 12 hours, 10 hours getting my character to 99 overall on 2K. When was the last time I sat down and read a book? When was the last time I sat down and did something towards my goals, whether it be for content, whether it be for working on my craft and whatever it may be, basketball, football, art, modeling something, you know? When was the last time I studied? You got to be real mindful of where you putting that time into, because when you let it consume you, when you let that fake dopamine take over your mental and make you think that, hey, what I'm doing right now is worth it, that's where it gets you. Because next thing you know, you spend a week doing that, and that week turned into 2 weeks, and that 2 weeks turned into a month, that month turned into 2 months. You don't wasted so much time throughout the year just doing stuff that wasn't serving you, playing those video games and not monitoring what you're doing. All that time you spend on those video games, all in all, you have to be able to moderate how long you're doing it and not let it consume too much of your time. Because at the end of the day, if you let it consume you, it will destroy you. And you will lose a lot of time and lose a lot of progress, and you will regress in whatever skills you're trying to build. Going on to number 2, for the non-gamers out there, for the people who like to plan and who like to talk about their goals, you got to also understand one thing. Moving in silence is not just a saying. It's an art that a lot of successful people have learned and mastered over the years. It's one thing to tell some people, hey, you have goals, you have things in plan, you have a lot of ambitious goals you want to go accomplish, but you got to understand that not everybody got to know what you got going on. Because the more people you tell and give that information to, once you tell them, they can do whatever they want with that information. They can tell somebody else. Other people have opinions about what you're doing, which is extremely detrimental, especially when you're trying to build something and start something. People gonna have their opinions whether you like it or not. The only way to avoid people's opinions is to really keep that stuff to yourself. Once you share it with somebody, where that information goes is out of your control. You have to understand that. A lot of people think they could trust people by telling them certain stuff and thinking they won't tell nobody else. Whole time they could tell 5-10 different people and tell them to keep their mouth shut. Now a whole bunch of people know your business and what you got going on, and like that's a lot more people having opinions about what you're doing. Next thing you know, more people than you would like know what you got going on and your business out there. And you got all these people doubting you and getting in your ear and trying to tell you what to do otherwise and what they think is best. Whole time they're not even doing nothing similar to what you got going on. They don't know nothing about what you got going on, for real, for real. They don't know nothing about that field. They don't have no real knowledge about nothing. They just got straight opinions and just like to run their mouth and hear themselves talk. You gotta put a muzzle on yourself when it comes down to talking about your goals. Move in silence. Keep whatever you got going on in silence. It is imperative that you understand that when you give out information, you no longer have control of where it goes, no matter how much trust you have in that person, no matter how much faith you think that somebody is just going to keep their mouth closed. You have to understand once that information is gone, it's outside of your control. Like I said in the past video, your mind does not know the difference between you doing something and you saying you're going to do something. You can tell somebody your goals and tell them that, hey, I'm going to do this, this, that, and the other. And this is my plan for it. And this is how I know it's going to work because this is that and the other. Your brain is sitting there whole time thinking, oh, you got it all figured out. You going to succeed. You pretty much there already. Whole time you ain't do nothing. And by the time you get started, you going to feel completely different than how you was when you was planning it. I'm telling you, the best feeling in the world, the best dopamine you can get is from actually doing the things that you said you were going to do instead of just talking about it. Don't just be that person to say you're going to do this and that and then don't do it. Because even for the people that you did tell, even for some of them that actually keep their mouth shut and actually is rooting for you, they watching to see what you're going to do. And if you don't do it, bro, in their eyes, you a fraud. They don't even believe what you're saying. You might as well just be the boy that cries wolf, because at that point, nothing you say really got any weight behind it until they see the action that you need to be putting into it. Going on to my third point is planning with no action, which to a degree blends into my last point about just talking about your goals. The other half of that coin is planning without action. You could have the most elaborate plan known to mankind. You could have everything figured out. You could study the analytics. You could see the probability. You could see the statistics. You could be the walking embodiment of AI in the flesh. You can know every statistic, know how to do every little step, know how every step works and how it's effective in each economy or whatever the case may be. But if you put no action behind it, everything you plan for is purely theoretical, because having a plan and putting that plan into motion are two completely different things. And having a plan, putting it into motion and getting the result is also a completely separate thing, because like I said, plans are only theoretical. You could have a very well established plan, but until you put it into motion, you won't know for sure if it'll even work. You know, a lot of times in life, I'm pretty sure if you've been living on earth for any amount of years, life don't go always as you planned it. Sometimes it goes worse. Sometimes it goes even better than how you planned it. But you will never know if you don't put in that first step or that first little bit of effort into actually getting it done. Planning also gives your mind a sense of dopamine to a small extent. When you sit there and you jot down everything you're going to do, it makes a lot of sense in your head. You might even contribute for all the negative factors and all the bumps and hurdles that might get in your way. But that's only accounting for the things that you're able to see, that you've seen happen to other people, or that's just common knowledge. But like I said in the previous video, everybody's path is separate. Everybody's path is different. Life can throw unexpected curveballs that you never even accounted for, because your journey is unique to your own. So having these plans and things, it's a good thing to plan, but understand that until you put that action forward, don't get too excited. But be excited in the fact that you're going to start doing it no matter what, no matter how things go, if that makes sense. Be excited that you're actually putting in the effort. But don't get too excited thinking your plan is going to be foolproof and that's going to work all the way. Because let me tell you something. Everybody that's ever started something that's ambitious, they know for a fact. They'll tell you every single day, hey, life don't go as expected. Expect hurdles. Expect curveballs that you're never going to expect. Expect the unexpected. That's really how life is. But with that being said, I hope y'all learned something from this video. I hope y'all got the message I tried to put down. You got to be careful where this dopamine comes from. You got to be careful with the sources of dopamine that you're gaining it from, whether it's playing video games, whether it's planning, whether it's telling people about your goals. You have to be careful, because if you sit there and attribute all that effort into these avenues, you can really mess yourself up in the long run. The only true dopamine that you need to be excited for is the dopamine of you getting things done. And in the long run, you getting things done is going to turn to a habit. It's going to turn into a disciplined habit, which I'm probably going to make a video on a little later on, disciplined habits. And it's going to compound later on to eventual success. And that success is the best dopamine you can ever even get, But with that being said, I hope y'all boys learned something from this video. Like I said before, If you made it this far, put a 5 down in the comment section below. If you even made it halfway through the video, put the number 5 down in the comments below. And with that being said, man, I hope y'all learned something from this video. I'm gonna get up with y'all boys next time.